Welcome back, my name is LastKnownMeal and today I'm going to talk about loot boxes and microtransactions. Usually when I make these videos they become very controversial because I have people telling me that I should not care if people buy loot boxes. It's not my money, it's their money, and they have every right to spend their money on everything they want. And I agree with that. It's your money. Go spend it on whatever you want, including loot boxes. Of course, you have people telling me that loot boxes should be banned from video games. But today I want to talk about people and loot boxes because, yes, I talked about studios like EA, Activision and Ubisoft in the past where I am not satisfied with their actions because they seem predatory and they definitely seem unethical, especially the controversy with Battlefront 2 where those loot boxes actually gave you an advantage over someone else who didn't pay money for those things. And EA caused so much shitstorm that you have laws being put in place to control loot boxes in video games. Because I remember when loot boxes started out, especially free-to-play games had them. For example, League of Legends had skins where it's mostly cosmetic, it's not going to give you an edge. You know, like that skin in CSGO, it looks cool, but it's not going to give you an edge in competitive. It's not going to make you a better gamer. It's just a cosmetic item. And as it started out like that, of course, I wasn't happy with it because, of course, you have to open a loot box. And how the loot box works, it's a simple roulette. It's like that. It's gambling. Like, it's very simple. But those things are optional. Every single studio is going to say that. We're not making you pay us more money. We're not making you. It's a very optional thing. It's the people who are buying those loot boxes. But it's not true that it's optional for some things, because you probably heard about the algorithm that EA and Activision are trying to put into their games, basically where in multiplayer a gamer who is, you know, paying them more money for loot boxes and has all those things, like beginner players are going to be paired with them. And of course, when the beginner players get their asses kicked, what they're going to say is, I really want what that guy has, and it's going to make you spend more money on their video games. Because before, when the industry was starting out, it was about, let's create a video game, you pay us money for that video game, and that's about it. That's about it. Now, every single game, even single-player games, like Assassin's Creed Origins, Wildlands, have those microtransactions. Single-player games. Of course, Wildlands has a co-op. Wildlands has Ghost Wars, but still, those are single-player games. And what they're making you do is giving you more options to choose from, like those loot boxes, and it's going to give you different cosmetics for a character. If I buy a game like that, especially a game like Assassin's Creed Origins, don't give me more stuff to buy. It's a single player game, just include that in the game. And when I'm talking about these companies, I'm not saying that developers, that it's their fault that these things are happening. I never ever criticize the developers in this topic. I criticize the people who are running these companies, people in suits that want more and more money. There is a title on a GameSpot article and it says Ubisoft makes a lot of money from microtransactions and it wants more. Because Ubisoft in the past 9 months earned more than 300 million euros from those microtransactions. And I asked myself one thing, okay, yes, those companies are including these things, those companies have unethical and predatory actions, but let's be honest, people are spending money on this. Because if a company sees that people are willing to spend money, more money, in a video game they already paid for, they're going to include these things even more. And if these big companies are successful, you're going to have more studios implementing these things, because They saw like, oh my god, they're making so much money off of this, let's do that as well. And I know it's a hard truth, I know that for a lot of people this is, well, it's not me, of course, but you have people who are spending money and it's becoming very profitable. So who is a real problem here? It's not only EA's fault. It's not only Activision's fault. It's not only Ubisoft's fault. It's also gamers who are spending money on these loot boxes so much because they look cool. The flaming horse in Assassin's Creed Origins, it costs equivalents of 15 euros to get this horse. Like, what the shit? It's a flaming horse in a single player game, boo hoo. Usually you had these things included in a video game. Is it necessary? No, it's not. It's an optional thing. But you see to what point these companies are going in their future games. Even the single player games are going to be filled with these things. And they're doing that because gamers are responding to it. People are spending money on this thing. And the more money they spend, the more they're going to include these things because it's business. If something is making you profit, you're not going to go and say, I don't want this in my games. It's unethical. If people are spending money, well, I'm going to include it even more. I'm going to push loot boxes and microtransactions even more. So I know it makes a lot of people look bad. I know it makes us gamers look bad. But the only reason why these companies are including loot boxes is because we buy them. We buy them so much because it makes us look cool. We have this armor, we have this sword, we have this weapon. We're cool. That's the only thing you get in some games, being cool, while in some games it's going to give you an edge. Look, I am not against banning loot boxes at all. But there should be a limit. There should be a limit to what kind of loot boxes we have, because usually free-to-play games had loot boxes and microtransactions to basically keep their game running. Those things were mostly cosmetic stuff, and you know, if you want to support the studio, if you want another skin, you're going to go and buy it. But now you have big companies that earn millions and millions and hundreds of millions of euros and dollars every single year. They're going to include these things because they're going to bring them even more profit. And the only reason why they're doing that is because people are spending money on it. More and more and more money. I looked at some comments like some of the things that were added in, for example, Assassin's Creed Origins, like the flaming horse. And, you know, comments are usually like, oh, this thing looks cool, I'm gonna go and buy it. Yeah. Yes, I know. It's not my problem that people are spending their money. And I shouldn't be the one telling them, hey, it's your money, I'm going to tell you where to spend it. No, if you want to spend it on loot boxes, go and do it. But trust me, if more people start spending money on this thing, it's definitely going to be bad for the gaming industry. It's definitely going to tell these studios, we're definitely going to include more. And it's going to make predatory companies. It's going to make people say, we're going to include even more ways of you to spend your money on. We're going to rig the game. We're going to change our algorithm to push these loot boxes because people are buying them, and we definitely want more money from those that don't want to buy them. So these actions from people who are spending so much on loot boxes, it's definitely going to potentially ruin the gaming industry to the point where other companies, smaller companies, are going to start including these things in their games. And like, I see a lot of videos on the internet saying like, oh, we're against loot boxes, blah blah blah. So yeah, but they're still earning a lot of money. They're still earning more than 300 million euros, Ubisoft only. Activision, I think, earned more than 4 billion from microtransactions in 2017. Activision Blizzard made more than $4 billion in microtransactions. It's a lot of money. GTA Online, also microtransactions, also earning shit ton of money. And it's not only the fault of these companies. It's also the people who are buying this a lot. And again, it's your money, but shit. It's gonna be bad for the industry, trust me. Let me tell you one thing, these companies wouldn't be promoting these loot boxes so much if people didn't buy them. The more people buy them, the more these companies are going to push loot boxes into their games. And it's going to hurt a lot of people who just want to pay for the game once and that's about it. I know that now these things are optional, I know. But what if in the future these things become mandatory, especially in multiplayer games? We just need to wait and see, but the gaming industry right now is not looking good. I know that they're earning money, I know. The video game industry is flourishing, but what about the gamer? What about that passion that developers had, that those companies had when they were creating video games? So for me now, like when someone creates a video game, it's like money, 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 and not, well, here's a story, here's your character, here is your graphics, here is your sound and music. It's not like that anymore. It's becoming so corporative, and it's just disgusting in so many ways. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Just tell me down below. I value every single opinion. And that's it. Also, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button for more videos. And stay classy, everyone. And bye-bye.